Hey guys, I'm Sdanwolf and welcome back to the channel. And we have got a lot to kind of unpackage here, a lot of speculation, a lot of annual report disclosures. I think it's safe to say that Planet Coaster is not going anywhere, especially if you kind of read into the financial reports and what they talk about with the building player numbers and engagement and all of this. They continually talk about in Frontier in the report about achieving repeatable success, and that just goes hand in hand with these DLCs and these new updates that are coming out. And we're pretty much sure that an update is coming out for Planet Coaster probably sometime in October. If they keep with this little 3-month deal they have going on. But with the Theme Makers Toolkit announcement, Bo did say, in the coming soon letter that the team has been hard at work getting ready for another Planet Coaster update. So this is one of those updates. I guess let's talk about this first. Let's try to get this out of the way. Some of our wild speculations but the Planet Coaster update that's coming up to me feels like it is more just out there. No one has a clue of what possibly it could be next. I mean, the vintage stuff, like looking back at it now, I guess it kind of caught some of us off guard, but there were so many people like asking for, well, it seems like more people were asking more for a carnival, midway type of update. And to me, the vintage pack kind of pulls on those strings a little bit. I mean, without being a full-fledged carnival pack with the midway games and all that. But it's one of those things where I think with Frontier, it's a deal like they kind of work in a niche kind of DLC pattern here. They have to make these things really. It's such a double-edged sword because it has to be. It has to be like prepared and catered for the mass audience, but you also need to give enough for the hardcore, the big requests. I definitely do not envy the decision makers that have to come down with what we can do, what we can afford, what can be put into the game, because obviously it's a game of you can't please everybody. And I think maybe with the, we'll make a whole nother video for this, but the Theme Makers Toolkit may quell a little bit of that angst for just the really fine-tuning personalization of themes people are getting at. Like, we want Western alien sci-fi. It's just like they can't do everything we want. And I think this Theme Makers Toolkit will be a good avenue. I think if you're asking my opinion, I think it's a good thing. I think it will be a very cool tool to give more people to give people what they want more accessible, especially if you find a good 3D modeler that you like their work. You've got a good relationship with the modeler, where you're not aggravating people like every day, like, hey, make me Cinderella's castle, or hey, can you make the this and that. I think as long as the 3D model talent comes on board with this, as long as the website is easy, as long as it's a nice, smooth streamline from getting these people's models, getting them through that website and getting them into the game, I think it'd be a home run, and I think it would alleviate some of that pressure to be so detailed with people's wishes and what their hopes and dreams are for the game. If you can find a talented enough 3D modeler, they might be able to help make your dreams come true more so than Frontier, like not being able to cater to your exact little dream and statue and ride and vehicle model that you want. That is where these really talented artists, I think, can really step up and make it happen for people. And then Frontier can kind of still focus on the really awesome, the quality that only Frontier will be able to give us as far as spreading out the game and really packing a punch with some of these updates. But as far as like your roof pieces go and a lot of that, I've heard on the Discord channels, a lot of people, like one guy is totally starting to work on right now in his modeling program an entire Asian wall and roof set. And like I heard Free the Bear talking about the first thing he's working on, coaster assets. So do you see what I mean? How all of this is going to really start coming together with this Theme Maker's Toolkit, and a lot of people's wish lists are going to start narrowing down and being a lot more accessible and not like so at the mercy of just these random DLCs or these random updates. So like I said, at the beginning of my little rant here, I have no clue what it is. Like right now, as far as September 25th goes, I haven't heard anything from Bo, from any of the people. Because remember with the Vintage Pack, like about 7 days before it came out, they gave it to a couple of us content creators and said, here, you guys play with it, get some videos ready. Let us know what you think about it. Well, I think this is still a little too early, and that's why I wanted to get this video out now, just in case Bo and them decide to do that again. I still like this little element of surprise, like being with you guys and not knowing what is actually happening yet. So that is really still a cool part for me. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I was floored when we got the little email and it showed like one picture. And then, it was kind of like the whole NDA thing that we couldn't, talk about it until that Monday. But no, I have not heard anything about what the DLC is going to be, anything about what the update's going to have. So I am, as of September 25th, still in the dark about it. And I think we are in for a pretty cool treat, just because it's taking more and more to really excite us. I mean, you know how people get. We're creatures of we don't get excited too readily. It really takes some really cool stuff to knock us off our feet nowadays. And I think with just the entire totally not knowing what this could be, just it being totally up in the air of what these guys have been working on for who knows how many months. It's what keeps us coming back, and I just think there is a lot to look forward to. I think Planet Coaster still has a lot of life left, especially like we'll get into the annual report here in a minute, but just the verbiage that they give to the investors and those guys. If you can take the annual reports, as what they intend on doing. I mean, I wouldn't see it being a part of their MO to kind of like mislead investors and, hype it up, to, I mean, of course, investing reports, annual reports are to hype up the investors, but, you still got to have a little bit of stuff to back that up. When these actual, when they start rolling into 2019 and all that. But as far as the theme goes, I don't know. I think we can just leave that up to you guys. We'll start it in the comments section. Looking at Twitter, I got a lot of really interesting ideas today. One of them was a Dark Ride DLC. I think that would be pretty cool, but I think that is it's kind of way too it's not broad enough for a DLC. I don't think they could just come out with that because there's too many people that are like, well, wait a minute, I don't even like dark rides. Why would you all? We waited here for 3 months for the next one, and you guys just did Dark Ride DLC. So I think maybe something as far as Dark Rides go could be implemented into a DLC or an update, something like that. But I don't think it would just be like Dark Ride DLC and that's it. So a big one that's been floated around for a long, long time is the need and the want for an Asian theme. I heard Atlantis today on Twitter. People are still hammering the needing the Schwarzkopf coaster. I myself am personally waiting for a launched Gerstlauer coaster so I can recreate my dream of Fire Chaser Express. And for you all don't know, the Fire Chaser Express in Dollywood is my favorite coaster ever. I don't know why I love it so much, but that's just, it is what it is. It's not very big, giant, and thrilling, but it is, it's just, I guess maybe it's because it's my closest coaster. It's my home park. So, but yeah, I would love for Sam and them to work on some kind of launched Gerstlauer. But, another thing, let's see what other people were talking about. Of course, some people come back to the Roman, even Roman, Greek type of architecture. People would love to see that theme. Of course, dinosaurs continuously comes up. I don't know. I would love to see a dinosaur pack one day. We know that Bo said that Jurassic World Evolution will never come to Planet Coaster, like as far as like a cross promotion type thing. Because one of her posts said, I can tell you that will never happen. But, I don't think that totally slams the door on a dinosaur DLC because like I've said before, Universal doesn't own the dinosaur trademark. They just, you probably have trouble bringing in Jurassic World, Jurassic Park IP type stuff without going through them and the licensing and all that. But another thing that people were talking about on here, let's just see, what's another one that popped up here? Gray and Grumpy wants the Helter Skelter slide. So yeah, a lot of people are still on the flat ride bandwagon. I'm kind of with you. I would love to see more flat rides. It's not totally on the top of my list because you guys know I'm a sandbox, pretty much a sandbox theme type of guy. So anytime I can get more theming and more pieces like that on my hands, I am definitely all for that. People are wanting that. There's a want for more sci-fi pieces, definitely. Even though we have sci-fi in the game, people kind of feel that was a little skimped on, and they're definitely wanting more attention placed on the sci-fi theme. Even if I've heard some people even say if it was a retro sci-fi theme, that they would be all for that. We basically as far as me talking to people that have been to Frontier and have actually went to like the expo and all that they had, I'm trying to kind of suppress the Planet Safari, Planet Water Park type of hype for this Planet Coaster, because as far as the feedback that I've got, that's not something that's going to happen with this title, at least for a while. So I definitely, like, me, I've started a zoo and I've started a water park. I would be the first one in line to use those pieces, and I would probably flip back out of my chair. And, but, I've definitely wanted to quell a little bit of because it inevitably every time one of these DLC packs starts to come out, everybody says, water park, we need a water park, we need zoos. I've really come to realize and, doing my own research, and I encourage you to do your own research, just the verbiage and the stuff that comes from the community team and some of the devs, just don't see that happening right now, unfortunately. But like I said, it is totally up in the air right now. I would love to see a steampunk type of theme, but like I said, just leave your thoughts down below. And like I said, this time, if the DLC isn't quite what you're wanting or what you're hoping for, remember, we're thinking that the Theme Maker's Toolkit will be following that up, hopefully, like Bo said, later this year. So we're already almost in October. There's not much more of the year left. So with that being said, let's jump right into the annual report. And what you're looking at right here, I've cycled down to our multi-franchise model. And the first thing that pops out at me when they talk about what we do and they're talking about their in-house technology, Frontier avoids pay-to-win features, instead continuing to expand each franchise offering through an ongoing program of free and paid-for expansions and add-ons. So that is why I associate myself with this company. Frontier avoids pay-to-win features. That is awesome, and that is why we love this bunch of people. But the other thing that brings to my attention down here is this little part right here. Actually, we'll listen to this first part. Our future franchise portfolio is likely to contain a mixture of owned IP, like Elite Dangerous and Planet Coaster, and licensed IP like Jurassic World Evolution. We are pleased with the initial sales and feedback for Jurassic World Evolution, which illustrates that we can develop and publish world-leading IP alongside a major film launch. Franchise 4, which is based on our own unannounced IP. So we got right off the bat here, we know that don't be thinking that this fourth game is going to be a movie. Anything like that, anything like Jurassic World, it is their own, is now in full development and targeted for release in fiscal year 2020. And 2 more new franchises are in earlier stages of development. So the thing about this is, guys, these games that we have now, Elite Dangerous, Planet Coaster, and Jurassic World, going by this newest annual report, nothing new is coming out in 2019. So that tells us right there we have a whole nother year of development for Planet Coaster and the other 2. So that, I think, is something to look forward to. The financial report says it's got a targeted release for fiscal year 2020. So that leads me to believe that Planet Coaster's still got some life left. They are still going to be running operations for it, still putting out DLCs. How many? I mean, we don't know. If they keep up with the 3-month model, that leaves maybe, 3 more, I'd say. I mean, we've got this one, and I would at least say there would be a couple more DLCs after this, because 2 more DLCs would take them 6 months into 2019. And by that time, I'm sure this 4th franchise will be announced. They'll probably start building the hype train up for it, I would say, in early 2019. They say it's in full development, so they talk about with their building player numbers and engagement in the community teams, that they like to, that's what they do. They like to hype up these games, but it's targeted hype and targeted release. They don't show anything until it's absolutely ready to be shown. And but yeah, just really, really, really neat stuff. And what could that 4th one be that they already own? And that is kind of where we need to kind of dig into our Frontier trademarks, and if we can kind of search around and see what's been trademarked. And we know Planet Safari, I know I said I wasn't going to get hyped on the Planet Safari thing, but we know that's been approved. They published it for opposition like back in April of 2017. Like, basically, when they say they're publishing it for opposition, that means anybody out there with a company that owns Planet Safari or was thinking about trademarking that, these companies have to advertise when a trademark is about to go through, to give ample time for other companies to challenge it. And if you look on if you follow with their trademark news, it seems like nobody challenged it. The EU approved Planet Safari for Frontier. So as far as what I've read into it, it is officially a Frontier IP. So nothing else I can find besides Planet Safari has been uncovered as being a trademarked IP. So you'd think before something would be in full development, they would be able to call it what they wanted and legally be able to call it what they want. So I don't know if that leaves the door open for Planet Safari, but it makes a pretty good case for it, considering nobody else has found any type of other IP trademark. So really interesting stuff there. And if you, we're going to skip past, I'm not really an Elite Dangerous guy, really cool community, really cool bunch of people, but we are going to skip down to Planet Coaster, and they have it marked in the annual report as ongoing development, and they basically give the roadmap here: the winter update in 16, spring update, summer update in 17, first paid DLC packs. Remember when our little Back to the Future and our little cars and stuff come out? Spooky pack, massive hit. We heard from Bo that the spooky pack is really, like, even the devs and Frontier themselves, the reception and the sales of spooky pack apparently blew everybody away. Like, they did not anticipate such a big bang for spooky pack, and that was that was definitely pretty cool the way that turned out, and just helps further their case for continuing to fuel the game. Their anniversary update, the adventure pack, another big hit. Studios pack, big hit for the backstage stuff. A lot of people, there's still a lot of stuff I use in the studio pack. Vintage pack was a really good timed pack, right at the end of that dead 3 months. The thing that's a little bit different now, I believe, with the vintage pack is the Theme Maker's Toolkit announcement being announced like 2 months since Vintage Pack, where we haven't hit that terrible dead zone, that quietness from Frontier that started, once the Studio Pack was released, then radio silence all the way until about a week or before the Vintage Pack, and everybody was really feeling that drought pretty horribly. But this the Theme Maker Toolkit has kind of thrown stuff for a little bit of a loop, and has kind of pre-ignited the hype engine, getting everybody excited for the update, and really interjected some energy back into the whole simulation. So, but one of the things that sticks out to me, it's a pretty quick little spot on Planet Coaster, just talking about updating the base game for the players, and they explain that to the investors. But right down here at the bottom, we will continue to support Planet Coaster going forwards. It has a long future ahead of it, and they, even for annual report terms, they used an exclamation point. So whoever wrote this report is definitely my type of person. But yeah, we will continue to support Planet Coaster going forward. It has a long future ahead of it, and that is music to my ears. It is my favorite game ever. I've met so many of you guys and so many cool people in the course of playing this game and the development of the game, and just the cool relationship with Frontier that I have that I've never had with a video game dev company, like where they're emailing me personally and giving my feedback and asking me feedback, and never before have I experienced a game like this, and it was pretty neat. I think it's a very, very interesting and awesome time to be alive and be a gamer, and I definitely do not take Planet Coaster for granted. It's one of those once in a decade games. I think it's just these type of games you don't get them where you buy them and you're still playing them 2, 3, 4 years later. It's just that longevity. And it's the heart of the game. It's the just the grit that was put in it, and the talent from the guys around Planet Coaster, the guys and gals that keep this whole simulation running, and then of course the fans and you guys for always keeping me pepped up and going, and just always interested in what I'm doing and what we're coming up with, and that is a really, really cool thing to be a part of this whole community, and then throw the YouTube thing in on top of it. And it is, you guys really make me feel like it might be a small rock star, but you definitely make me feel like a rock star. And I love hearing your guys' feedback, and it makes my day when you guys are commenting on the videos and really enjoying this stuff. So I will leave the rest of it. We will continue this down in the comments. Let me know down below on what your thoughts are on all of the of our evolving little simulation here, and particularly what you want to see in the next DLC. I love hearing your guys' themes, because it usually always stuff comes out and I'm like, why did I not think of that? Or what the why don't we have this? This is a theme we need. So it's really cool when this stuff continues on with you guys long after these videos are made. You guys will reach out to me on Instagram and Twitter and be like, hey, you never mentioned this in the video. They need to put this in the game. So just really, really cool stuff, guys. I'm glad you guys are still interested in this, and thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me. I'm Sdanwolf. Smash that like button if you end up enjoying this video, and let me know your thoughts down below, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you. See you guys.